Tough. So we start with you because I saw your hand first, and then we go, I'm biasing the women again, but the last row, the two next to each other, and then the woman in green. So the four women, is that okay?
I'll be very brief. I just have two questions. One was you were discussing, I think you said Public Law 105, and your policy ask for that is...
Can you please stand up and identify yourself and just speak a little bit louder?
Sure. I'm Tracy Fair. I'm an intern at the Enough Project. I just had a question about, so you're proposing to suspend funding to Rwanda, and you said that's military funding. Is that affecting any other funding, like humanitarian funding or food aid? And my other question was, actually for you, if you could just talk a little bit more about the mixed chambers that were being initiated, and maybe just give us a little description of that.
Okay, so the two in the back.
My name is Makita Crane, and I went to Goma, DRC in January 2009 as an independent journalist. And my question to the panel is, you know, as people and as Africans who are closely connected to what's happening in Congo, what could you see would be the most significant, in a perfect world, what could you see would be the most significant thing that could come out of this UN report? If you could paint the picture, what would come out of this report?
Thank you. Please.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Justine from the Embassy of Rwanda. I want to underline two things. One, rape is a serious crime against humanity. As Rwandans, we have gone, rape was used as an instrument of implementing the genocide. We cry with our neighbors, with our sisters in the Congo. The discussion was very interesting from Nita and the gentleman here, Kambale. I think when we talk about looking at why should we have, what should the US Congress and the US government do, there is an important point we should underline and seriously emphasize if we really want to bring justice to our people in the region. You talk of the invasion. Myself, I don't look at the invasion of Congo by Rwanda and the rest of the countries as mentioned in the report in 1996. The part of Congo that is being seriously affected by the crime of rape, which Nita took us through seriously, is being occupied for some time since the genocide, who used rape in Rwanda as an instrument of implementing the genocide and left merciless women, innocent, dead, others still reaping with the
I really apologize. It's great having both the Congolese and the Rwandan embassies represented here. We have a member of Congress who is unfortunately only here very briefly, and we would like to give her the floor to make some comments before she needs to leave. So I beg your indulgence. But
I think since this was open and
absolutely
an open invitation to all of
if
us,
you could just
give me a chance.
If you could just wrap it up quickly, because honestly, we would like to.
Being unfair because you are interrupting me and you are not letting me put forward my appeal.
If you could just do it briefly,
just give it to
please,
Francis.
This session was for members and staff of their offices.
When the government, even our governments, as long including you activists on the table, they are all looking for peace in our region. So could you give me a chance to streamline my point?
We've given you a chance. Please finish.
Okay. So what I wanted to underline, can we have and emphasize as activists who really feel for the region, the presence, the occupation of FDR who are very well known for implementing the genocide, for lingering in the Congo, still using the same tool to harass the Congolese women, that the US and the rest of you activists should have at least
I'm terribly sorry, but we really have to end it. We really understand your point, and we'd like to have the member of Congress speak, and then, I'm sorry.
Then
Thank you.
you shouldn't be allowing us to come.
No, again, this session is meant to brief members of Congress and their staff, and we're really grateful that they've taken time to come.
Come on.
Please, I'm sorry, please.
We understood the point.
Thank you. We have the woman in green as the next person.
Hi, my name is Sarah Herman with Amnesty International in the Science for Human Rights program, and so we've used data similar to what it sounds like is in the report to create Eyes on Nigeria, upcoming website, Eyes on Darfur, and another website. And so I was wondering, especially given all the grassroots movements we've seen and how powerful that can be, and we've talked about the need to continue this report and make it really bring substantial change to the DRC. What do you see for the future of this report in terms of getting it out to the general public in an accessible form that, you know, any day person can see, and not just somebody in this room who will read 550 pages? Thank you.
You have the last word.
The last one? Thank you, I'm really honored. I will give my point just, not really on the mapping, to say a message for the
Can you
Congo.
please just introduce
Oh, I'm
yourself?
sorry. I'm Dr. George Alula. I'm from the Congo. I'm the author of the book, The Ignored Economic Genocide. But since 1994, we stand up when the genocide occurred in Rwanda. I was in Paris, and I ran a fundraising to help Rwandan orphans, because in my childhood, I used to grow up with the family Bisengima na Rwema in Kinshasa. So I was around Burundis and Rwandan people in Congo. So I feel like I was hurt myself in 1994. But since that time and what happened in the Congo, between the Congo and Rwanda, I was feeling very bad to me in the same room with my brother and sister of Rwanda and Congo. But today, I got this opportunity. My message would be, I know you have been hurt in 1994. The people in Congo still hurt up today. I would say, you're the best people to fight to end the suffering of your sister and brother of Congo, because you know what you went through. It's not here the place to come and say, try to defend those leaders who bring our region in a very bad direction. We got really the opportunity to come here and find each of us. We could build this industry. Industrializing the Congo will help the region. With 23 trillion of gold, the coltan to help all the world. We cannot have all of this for ourselves. We can share. Then I hope, seeing the face of Claude, seeing my sister there, I see and I read the same suffering that I see in the Congo. You know, now I was not in the panel. I'm finishing. I was not in the panel, despite my book on the genocide in Congo. But I'm feeling, how do you say it? Je me sens soulagé. I'm feeling really relieved by all the work that all the organizations are doing here. I was standing by myself when see Pascal Kambale today, or Jacques Bahati. It just relieved me, and I can stay home. I'm here pleased to say to those who don't know me, we need to stop talking about genocide in Rwanda. Yes, it occurred. We condemn it. Now you need to fight to condemn the genocide of 6 million, more than 6 million people, and the rape of all your sisters. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So again, what we're going to do, our last 5 minutes, you see, you're sort of like an honorary member of the panel. We'll have you answer this explicit question to our Amnesty colleague about making the report more accessible, and any other questions that you want to respond to. But please stand up. So
yeah, the first question was on mixed chambers. I think that is a bit of a technical discussion that if you want we can have, but broadly the idea is to create within the Congolese judicial system specialized chambers composed of international and Congolese investigators, prosecutors and judges to try the crimes contained in the report and other crimes uncovered. That is being studied. The idea is that unlike an international tribunal, that would actually contribute to helping the Congolese judicial system to rebuild itself. So that's, and on the report itself, I don't work for the UN anymore, so I don't know, I can't speak for the UN now. One thing that I don't want to promote my own report, but I think should be done is that at least the executive summary should be translated in Lingala, Swahili, these languages that because we can read English and French, but and then brought to the places where this thing happened and used as a tool for dialogue. That at the grassroots level, at the international level, again, you know, there's a million things that could be done. Yeah.
Pick one that you want everyone to spotlight on.
Well, I think seriously engage on prosecution for these crimes. I mean, we heard a lot about the Rwandan genocide, and that has had a tribunal for that genocide, plus local tribunals in Rwanda and Gacaca courts. I don't think there is one single crime committed. Maybe there is like 2 or 3, but except 2 or 3 of the crimes that we had in the report, none of them has been prosecuted. So that be it through a national mechanism or through an internationalized mechanism, there needs to be accountability because people want it. I mean, what was amazing when we went out, at the beginning, embassies were very skeptical and said, people don't want to talk about that, they want peace, they want bread. There were hundreds of people we could not talk to because we just didn't have time. So this is really felt at the grassroots level.
Thank you so much, and again, thank you for your work and for being here. Now we move to our panelists. Do we have a preference? Who wants to begin? Closing comments? Me, let's start. Shake it up a little bit.
Well, you know, Makeda asked the question, what we on the panel, I mean, I want my final comment be an answer to what she asked. What do we think can come out of this? And actually, Dr. George gave me the answer, so I'm just passing to you what he gave. Out of these tragedies in the Congo, I was reading Rwanda's response, 30-page response to the report before it was published. And they raised a lot of objections. One of them is that people are forgetting the history. Well, there's a lot of history in Rwanda before the genocide. There's a lot of history in Congo. But looking at that history, I'm saying I want to agree with Dr. George that what we get out of it is for Rwandans and Congolese to come out together and say, we have suffered, let's use this latest to make it the last suffering in the region. But of course, it's not just Rwandans and Congolese. I'm Ghanaian, I was born in Ghana, but I care about the issue there. So we should bring all of us together out of this tragedy to build a better future in the heart of Africa and the rest of Africa.
Yes. So, Makeda, you asked, and I think for me, really what it looks like, the result of this report, what the outcome is, and what I would like to see out of it, is one word: justice. Allowing the victims to come forward and talk about the crimes that were committed against them. They are accused to defend themselves. If they're innocent, be freed, and if they're guilty, be punished for it. As far as there's a question about at the grassroots level, what is happening? The question was answered at the grassroots level on the ground in Congo. There's also a lot of work going on at the grassroots level here. One of the things, as an example, to get our members of Congress to attend, we work the phones. And I live in Nashville, Tennessee, and you best related that Senator Corker, Senator Alexander, Representative Jim Cooper will be hearing from a lot of us. You know, the university campuses are responding to this UN mapping report because people care. Americans really care about human beings, and they want to do something about this, and we are doing it. We're touring the country also raising awareness, and I'll let Kambale talk more about touring the country. But I'll go ahead and close anyway since we're out of time. Just like to thank everybody again for what we would like to see in this report. Done with this report is use it as a starting point to bring justice to the victims of the crimes committed in the Congo.
Couple of things. Everywhere I go, since I began speaking about this, the first question I get from my Rwandan's friends is that, where are you from? I know that they are trying to erase evidence and silence people, but I'm not going anywhere, and they are out of luck because I'm here, and it will be difficult to put their hands on me. The Rwandans are our neighbors, and they remain our neighbors. It is in our interest to build good relationships. Civilians on civilians, there is business going on, cross borders is going on, but on the top we want movement for justice.
Yes.
These leaders must not be defended, period.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for everybody for being here and being so attentive about what we just said. I just want to reiterate what my sister back there from the deputy from the Rwandan embassy, which I agree totally about what she just said, as we all are sisters and we need to work hard to bring this, I call it nightmare, to the end for all women, not only just Congolese women, but every woman in the war zone that's the victim of sexual violence. But also, I would like to ask her, as a representative of the Rwandan embassy, also to help us stop the FDLR, because the report just mentioned that FDLR usually sell their mineral that is still in Congo through Rwanda, Uganda, and Burundi. And we really want those governments, if they are serious about the FDLR, to stop FDLR and all of their bad endeavor, to help us stop that illicit traffic, because that's where they get the money, and that's where they are so strong now and pay and adapt children and women and rape everybody. So if you represent your government, if you can really be an advocate for the Congolese women and ask for your government to really help stop that traffic, it will be really appreciated. Thanks.
The last one will be on behalf of even one of the elders who really inspired other young Congolese to even speak up. Unfortunately, lost his life, Floribert Chebeya, last year, very advocate for peace. He advocated for every Congolese, and because of his voice, that inspired many of us to continue to do the work. So as we call for justice, let's remember that there are people who are on the ground who are very vocal about the work that they're doing, and they're being killed on a daily basis. So let's remember that. So now to your question about Public Law 109-456, the ask is very clear: military funding. We want the United States to start training a military that the United Nations is saying that if tried in a court that could be found of committing genocide in the Congo, the United States should not be supporting that. That's already a violation of the Lee Amendment. And Public Law 109-456 explicitly say that the Secretary of State can withhold assistance to that. And we're asking her and the President to withhold military aid, because that's what's killing the Congolese. And the question for the FDLR, Alan Doss in 2008 here in Washington spoke. He said that he spoke to the Rwandan president, the Rwandan government, asking them to give them the list of genocidaires so that they could be appointed and know who committed. He gave them a list of 6,974 names, which is equivalent of about how many FDLR rebels were there. And in his statement, he said that he understood this was a political statement that he made to stall the process of actually bringing people to justice so that the war can continue to go on. So we know how many of them are there. We know that if there is political will to bring them, it will happen. The last one will be your point, grassroots level, break the silence school, bring Congolese to your community. to come and speak to you about the situation and engage your community in Burkina Faso Assembly. And that's all for you, and thank you for being here this evening.
Well, please join me in thanking this phenomenal panel for their wisdom and their activism for all of their work. Also, in thanking the members of Congress that made this event possible and that made time to be here, and the staffers especially.